Hello there. Do you like sailing through the air without a care in the world? No? Oh. Well, what about sailing through the air and constant stress that the slightest hiccup will make you start over? Is that better? Previously, I had decided to avoid using double platform Recallevators because they're overpowered and quickly make things easy and not impractical. But then I took a leap into a rabbit hole that I do not regret jumping into. While a double Recallevator can be used to gain stupid heights, it can also be used to gain a good amount of distance. Now imagine putting obstacles in the way, having to weave through a tight space while trying to ensure that your next trip is properly set up. And if things get too out of control, the attempt is forfeit. Now this is pod racing. Disclaimer! This game is very, very broken in a good way. Because of this, Impractical Shrine Solutions and Softlocks leaves all items outside of the shrine that are not actively attached to Link when he enters, and no major glitches are used inside of the shrines. They are not impractical and just make shrines easier, which completely ruins the idea of doing something as needlessly stupid as we do. First up is a hero, like Link, or a sandwich. So this place was fun the casual way. Once. Jump through some lasers, YOLO jump through some lasers. From an impractical standpoint though, the solution is way too implicit to do much with. The initial hallway sides are way too high to really do anything at all with, and the hallway, it's a hallway. We do get some blocks to play with halfway through at least, and if not for these two blocks, this shrine would have been a huge disappointment. One option was taking these blocks up onto the wall, and then grinding them along this little wall here. It allows us to skip over the first laser from even turning on here. And with good timing, we can make it past the second laser with our stag. And if you're confused by that sentence, me too! But that's what I wrote on the script, and I guess I didn't bother finishing that sentence. And we just set the boxes on top of the final laser to get them to the end. But the real fun in this shrine began when instead of going to the end with the boxes, I turned around and went back to the entrance. Getting past these lasers with the blocks was kind of annoying. That was nice. Definitely worse than the trip coming in, considering the trip coming in was walking. There's nothing to really do from the beginning that we can't do in the rest of the shrine, but we can make a giant mistake that's developed into kind of an addiction. In Seneca Walk, I showed Recallevatering from the entrance to the top of the first wall. And here I thought, what if I did that through the whole shrine? And I was right, it was impractical. 5 hours of impractical. There are so many things that can go wrong while trying to navigate a really tight space with a cube on a cube. While moving, Link gets rotated with the block that he's standing on, which requires correcting and stabilizing the block that we're carrying. And the one that we're carrying then moves even more, and that makes even more correcting we're gonna have to do on the next trip. For example, the first Recallevator goes up. The second will go up and forward, while avoiding getting stuck on the walls. And then the one after that will add to it, going up, forward, avoiding the walls, and then even more forward while keeping the block in check, and assuring that it comes back fast enough without wasting valuable standing time at the end. Hitting walls, the ceiling, getting caught on this corner. With all of them, the outcome is the same. Link gets roughed up real hard and we have to start over. But with enough persistence and sacrifices to my sanity, if I had any left, we can get through most of the shrine. Navigating up the wall, down the entire hallway and around the corner, this is as far as we can get with a Recallevator, unfortunately due to the limits on rewind. But the last trip setting up just enough height so that we can float down all the way to the end, crossing the entire shrine from start to finish in one trip. Because there's nothing required for these shrines and the end is always accessible, this means that the shrine cannot be soft-locked. I mean, there's like 6,000 shrines in this game, they can't all be winners. Riogok, Riogok, Jaguar, nailed it. Today's second shrine is a quick one. You're supposed to, heck, I don't know. I didn't even bother trying to solve this one as intended. I got distracted really hard when I opened the door, ran through and it shut behind me because I opened the door wrong. Could've used rewind, but I ain't got time for that. Not opening the second door for the second stick because less is more or something. Attaching the stick to the gear and using it to climb. That's it, just climbing the gear with a stick, while trying to not fall down constantly. That's the whole solution. There was a lot of falling. Like a lot. A lot. Also, from the top, using the stick to turn the gear a little bit, or a lot of a bit, ultimately adding to the little ramp piece at the end here, and trying to shimmy up the stick to the top. I did say it was a short shrine. The softlock here is very, very easy, as you can imagine, when it almost happened by accident. Gathering up all the pieces and putting them on the other side of the gate, rewinding everything so we can't move anything at all anymore, and we're stuck. And it only took like 2 seconds. And last for today is Ihen-a. This place is all about using hover stones to get up and around and whatnot, I think. I don't know, I didn't use the hover stones correctly. But I had 2 ideas here. The first was, instead of using any hover stone to hover, using them to make a giant pillar, making a big ol' ice cream sandwich stack. And it worked. Getting through the entire shrine with my big ol' stack, and at the end the stack being sideways to make a bridge. But we can get dumber. We disable all of the stones because no flying. Bad stone. Then we do another full shrine Recallevator. The corner at the start is easier to get around because it's right at the beginning and we have more time to handle the turn. Traversing the entire shrine, it turns out we could clear the gap at the end like this and finish the shrine if it didn't require Terry to open. But from the end, we can start gathering up all the pieces in reverse, reaching the beginning of the shrine with everything, and Terry gets to come on the adventure too. Sometimes Terry does crime, other times he does adventures. It's usually crime though. We have more parts this time around, so instead of just building a big old sandwich stack, we get to build an ice cream staircase. Now, as you can imagine, an ice cream staircase has a flaw. Several actually. It likes to tilt to one side, much like any staircase built without any kind of support. It just falls over. Still a couple of slices left though, so we can weigh it down on one side, and this allows us to have the ICSS Mark II, which allows us to climb up and take Terry across without having to stick him to anything. The second hole is just as simple as the first one, but the last one is a bit of a problem. We need to stretch the ice cream staircase as far as it can go, which puts too much weight on one side and it tips over. And I'm not going to build a bridge again. This is a staircase shrine now. Bridges are old news. Mark III incorporates longer stairs and more weight on the back, but it's still not enough. So Mark IV, I used a couple of the stones to act as a shelving bracket. But that still wasn't enough. Alright. After years in the lab, millions spent on R&D, loan sharks are hounding me at every turn, the ICSS Mark 419 is here. With patented anti-wibble-wobble technology, we can get plenty of height and a good chunk of distance to bring Terry up the staircase and stressfully... Come on, Terry, I'll buy you an ice cream sandwich. Or a flamethrower. I'm kind of sick of ice cream. Unlike the first shrine, this one can be soft-locked, taking everything to the end, and we just walk back. That's it. We're stuck. But it gets better. We can do better. Before jumping down, we grab all the items, make a stack, and put Terry up on this spot here. We hold him and rewind him so he can't go anywhere whatsoever, jump back across, and now we get the lovely illusion of being able to finish the shrine. All we need to finish the shrine is right there on that torch, and we can't have it.